gorgeous.
I am doing very well today. It's been a good day. It's been a good week.
No doubt. And I want to say thank you for pumping that you were going to be doing the interview with me. Um, because one, I wanted to talk to more transgender women.
Sure.
Because they have a story to tell, just like well, with born females, as we like,
Right.
as they should be called now.
Right.
And I had the pleasure of talking to Paradise Triple X. I had the pleasure of talking to Cassie Cummings. Shouts out to her. Love you, girl. And like I said, I feel that they have a story to tell in this business because there's transgender that would like to break into this business and they don't know how. You know what I'm saying, or how to navigate and stuff. So that's why I do shows like this
Yeah.
to show every aspect of our business. So with that being said, how is your week been? How is 2023 been treating you?
2023 has been great. So we just finished. I don't know if you know. In my regular sex life,
Mm-hmm.
I am a cuckoldress. So
Mm.
this past week was Cuck Week.
Oh.
So yeah, so I've done a number. Gosh, I don't even know, maybe four or five different speeches and classes and
Mm-hmm.
talks and things like that. So yeah, just but kind of you know, putting the spotlight on trans women in that lifestyle as well.
Yes. Now explain to my listeners so they can understand, because we didn't explain it before, but
Yeah.
what is a cuckstress?
Okay, a cuckoldress. So
Cuckoldress,
in,
yes.
in a in a cuckolding relationship, you generally have, this is what most people call it. You generally have a cuckold.
Yeah.
Okay. So usually the cuckold and the cuckoldress together are usually a couple. Okay. And so for various reasons, a cuck, you've heard of men being cucked. Oh, he's a cuck.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's used as a derogatory term, but I will say this, that cuck men are probably one of the strongest types of men in any sort of kink slash
Mm-hmm.
relationship dynamic that there is.
True.
And so what happens generally is, so in your cuck, a lot of times maybe has a small penis, or
Mm-hmm.
things like that, or just can't perform, or it's just the chosen dynamic of their relationship.
Yeah. He enjoy watching his wife get fucked
That's
for the
right.
most part.
Right, but it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So then you've got your bull, which a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times depending on, like I prefer to have a black bull,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's a lot of times what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And so yes, he watches and everything, but there's a way more to it than that.
Mm-hmm.
He actually gets off on it,
Yeah.
on watching her have that pleasure with someone else. And in a
Mm-hmm.
cuckolding relationship, the cuckold is monogamous to the cuckoldress.
Mm.
The cuckoldress is not monogamous to anyone.
True. True.
So it's, for a woman, it's like the best of all worlds.
Mm-hmm.
You can, and he allows you to have those experiences,
Mm-hmm.
and be fulfilled, try
Mm-hmm.
different things. Sometimes the cuck is involved, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
not.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's caged,
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
chastity. Sometimes he's in chastity, sometimes he's not.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I mean, every dynamic can be a little bit different.
Yes, because from my understanding, from
Mhm.
when I was doing it, it was like a BDSM type. He
Right.
was somewhat of a submissive, and to a
Yes.
certain extent,
Yes.
period.
Generally, cuckoldress is dominant.
Yeah,
Cuckold is submissive,
yeah,
and she's kind of submissive to the bull.
yeah, yeah. It
Kind of a
and
almost.
like some of the sessions I had, like the cuckold was very active, and he like guided my dick into her mouth or pussy. I even came in the cuck's face. Now I told him don't touch your lips with my dick because I don't play like that. If you want a black eye, or broke nose, then go ahead and test your manhood for real. But I always love couples because it's a freedom there, and the fact that he watches and he gets off on it, he gets turned on by it. Period. And you have some cucks because misconception they think all cucks clean. They don't. Some cucks don't do that. You
Right.
know.
But that's one good part of it.
Yeah. I don't care. I ain't gonna. I get turned on watching him clean off my mess. God dang. I'm like, that is beautiful.
It is.
so so now the question I had to ask before I go into my particulars is cuckolding only for white folk? Because
Oh,
it's always a joke that you never see a black man as a cuckold.
I
And
actually, the first cuck that I ever had was a black man with a big dick.
mm, mm, see, I told you.
Imagine
I
having
told you.
two black men with big dicks in the room. And then when you're with me, there's three in the room.
No, you don't have a big dick. You just have a big clit.
So I have a big, well, I don't even have a big clip, but I'm saying that there's three of them. There's three of them in the room. And
Yeah.
Yeah. So the dynamic, especially with a trans person, can be totally different. Or
Oh yeah.
you have three lesbians that are together in a cuckold relationship. I mean, various strap-ons, various anything like that, you know?
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah. Because it kind of to me is like, which is funny because it's like when you hear black people talk about it, like I can imagine getting off watching my wife fuck. I've said understand that this is a energy exchange, a dynamic that is not for everybody to understand. And see, that's why I think people you can't. It's some things you're not meant to understand. Us as humans, we try to make sense of everything. It's something you just can't make sense of. It's a part of the life, a part of BDSM, a part of being submissive, part of being dominant. You know, and to me, it's a beautiful thing because also you might have that cook. He might be a CEO in another, you know, in his vanilla life. He makes all the money in his vanilla life. So this is his opportunity to sit back and service his wife and let his wife have
and
fun and enjoy herself.
not have to go through all of that pressure that he has to go through every day. He can be submissive, let her do some of the things. And also the thing about a cuckolding relationship that's most appealing to me is the way that the couple, so I mean, think about it. Like, okay, if you see your wife out there with somebody else, you're going to worry that maybe she'll like him better than you. It's over, you know. But every time she comes back to him, like another strengthening of that relationship that that's yours. See, you don't have to worry about anything. And the relationship actually gets tighter. It gets, more intimate, that kind of thing. So that's what I love. I love about it is that, yeah.
Most definitely. So give me 1 second. Hello, smokers. I'm sorry we've been 7 minutes into this. You know I like starting my shows off hot. And welcome to the Smokers Lounge here on Anchor. Y'all know what to do. Download the app or go to anchor.fm, start podcast today. I'm your host, Kavanaugh, the Southern Champ, aka the Porn Rap Star. Y'all know what to do. Find all my links with one link, allmylinks.com/porn rap star. Let me tell you about 4 wonderful sponsors that we got. The first one being the LS Facebook of the community, and I'm talking about lsworld.com. Next up, the hottest adult magazine in the game, eroticismmagazine.com. Next up, 90% profit for you content creators, plus no hashtag issues. And for you consumers of new place where you consume your XXX content, I'm talking about excitebunny.com. And last but not least, award-winning, award-nominating, we're talking about smut with some sexy voiceover. We're talking about Blush Erotica. So go to blusherotica.com. And while you're there, go check out their VR section called Beaver, where you get to see some of the hottest adult talent in your Oculus. That's right, Oculus. Who thunk it? Also, proud member of the GW District Black Podcasting Network. So go over to shopgwdistrict.com and get some shopping done, because they got plenty of products for you to choose from over 500 Black-owned retailers and shops and boutiques. Also, 5 days a week, find me on FullySwapRadio.com in the mornings as I talk to some of the hottest talent, people in the sex trade, directors, producers, talent, and voice operators, and everything else up under the sun for you to enjoy. So come catch that smoke every morning on FullySwapRadio.com. Also, check me out on SkyhawkAfterDarkTV.com as well as the BGP LLC app. Now I'm going to step back and let this gorgeous, sexy lady, Cuckdress, voice phone sex operator, a lady that obviously know what she's doing and know how to get you off, introduce herself.
Yes, I do. And well, my name is Veronica Mirage, and yes, I am a phone sex operator. I'm a phone sex operator, mostly on Night Flirt.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find me on Night Flirt under Veronica Mirage, and I'm also an adult content creator. I do some adult audios. I've done a couple adult films, which I'm trying to get more into as and yeah, and then so I'll just go a little bit. I am trans. I transitioned. I guess I started my transition back in 2011, and so it's been what 12, 13 years, and yeah, and I have done. I'm very open. So if you want to whatever questions you want to ask me, I don't care. You'll see me. You'll find me on the Moan Room, in the Moan Rooms, on the Moan app. Also with Free the Kink. I don't know if you've heard of Free the Kink, but I also do a 2 times a month. I do a talk with them, a Facebook Live, and my own podcast is coming out on the 4th. So that's this Saturday, and it's
Yay!
Podcast with Veronica Mirage. So yeah, so I'm going to hopefully be tackling some of these issues that I want to tackle through there. So yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. So how's your transition been going so far and everything? Because I know y'all have it's a lot that y'all have to do in order to transition.
Yeah, and I kind of had a rough time of it in the beginning because I decided to make. I mean, I've always felt not right in my body, and so eventually, and it's funny because I was a burlesque dancer. Well, I was a professional ballet dancer for 30 years. So yeah, I was in New York. I was all over the world dancing ballet, and I'm one of the few people that's done both male and female roles. So so that was nice to be able to experience both of those. But yeah, and so then I became a burlesque dancer. I was a burlesque dancer for 10 years in drag. I performed as a woman, but I was not transitioning. And then finally somebody said to me, you're so much more fun. My name at the time was Fonda Ling. And people said, you're so much more fun as Fonda, and I started really thinking about it. And I thought, you're right, and then I started doing like some tests and things like that. But I had that part of my life fulfilled almost every night, traveling all over the place and doing burlesque, and so yeah, so I finally just decided that's what I was going to do. So on January 1st, when I was home with my parents, I told them that I was going to do this. There was a little bit of resistance, but they kind of knew something was up. But I never felt, I identified as a gay man for most of my life, and I never felt like I was a gay man, and I always wanted to be a wife or a mother or always the girl things. I never wanted to do the guy things at all, ever. And so that's what kind of kept pushing me, and then eventually it gets to the point where you just can't not do it anymore. So I made that decision. 5 days later, I was diagnosed with anal cancer.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes. So I went in, I had a hemorrhoid. I went in, and I would say, thank God for the hemorrhoid, but went in, they found the cancer. So I had to go through chemo and radiation at the same time. I was very, very, very ill, but got through that. Everything got through, but I could never have the final surgery because the tissue down there was too radiated. So it would not like heal, and I would have a lot of nerve damage. Yeah. But if you can believe this, so at that time I was a hairstylist in Montgomery, Alabama. I was living in Montgomery, Alabama. I started my transition in Montgomery, Alabama, in like the top hair salon when I was doing hair in Montgomery, Alabama. And we had like governor's wives. We had like all these politicians that came to our salon. And there I was, slowly transitioning, changing. So yeah. And I didn't hardly lose anybody. as far as clients were concerned or anything,
Mhm.
I really didn't lose that many
Well,
people.
well, you know what? You know why? Because you know the old adage that if a man does a woman hair, it makes it grow. And so, in the mind of some of these rednecks and these people that are not open minded, they still look at you as a man.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
But because I always had this argument, no, they choose it. I said it's not a choice, dog. They
No.
were born with it. Yet they kind of knew when they were young what
Yeah.
it
I've
was. You
always
know what I'm
known.
saying?
I've
Yeah.
always known. Yeah, because people will always ask me, they'll say, when did you know? And I'm like, I don't remember a time when I didn't know. Yeah, I really don't. I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah,
Because to me, it's within you.
that's right.
I always feel that we have feminine and masculine energy. Every human being has it.
Yeah.
The female, the transgenders, they identify with the female energy more because they have more of the female energy,
Well,
which in turn makes them female. You feel what I'm saying?
yeah, have you ever heard the podcast Radio Lab?
Mm-mm.
So there's a podcast called Radio Lab. It's more of like a scientific
Mm-hmm.
podcast, but there is a series of 6 podcasts called Gonads.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to that, you will never ever think about gender the same ever. And it's kind of just like that. We all have male and female in us
Yeah.
right now. As we
I mean, if you really want to go there, these Bible thumpers don't even read the Bible correctly because when God said, when He made Adam, He said, we gonna make him in our image. The first creations God made was angels, and guess what they were? Hermaphrodites. They had both sex organs. How in the world you think they were able to pregnate those farmer daughters? People don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? So so that means God was non-binary. But see, because Charlemagne, the king of Franks,
mm-hmm.
not Charlemagne the God, I always make that joke.
Right.
Because he wanted it to be a certain way, that what it was.
Right.
Period. But if you look at other civilizations, there's always been transgender. And it was never an issue until Christianity became something.
You look in the animal world, there are fish that change gender based on
Yeah.
what they need.
Yeah.
Based on if there's no male, they'll change into the male. And yeah, they kind of morph into, and that's genetics. It's
Yeah.
just
Squids are like that. So there's some squids like that.
yeah, yeah. Well, and I was born with a strange issue. I was born with only one kidney.
Mm-mm.
So, I mean, who knows what happened, and
Yeah.
who cares? As long as I'm me now and doing what I do now, yeah. I mean, I'm perfectly happy, perfectly, you
Mm-hmm.
know, perfectly happy.
And
So,
that was all about is being happy. Because to me, I always feel you should live your truth. It kills me when people kink shame. It kills me when people look at transgender women or men and want to judge them. No, they're living their truth. Would you rather them be miserable and kill themselves?
right.
Or
And
worse, kill you?
do you know what the suicide rate is for trans people?
Very high.
41%
Yeah.
have tried it. Have tried it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And and I feel like in some of my talks that I do on some of the apps that I'm working on, um, I don't feel that you can be truly who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's your career. I think that if you're a religious person, I don't think God can flow through you completely 100% and feel you until you are sexually and genderly who you are,
Yeah.
and then everything opens up. And it's funny because, like, when I talk about the cuckolding world,
Mm-hmm.
cucks are looked at as sometimes negatively, but you know what? They're way ahead of people. They are living that part of their life that they want to live, letting that free, letting it go, not worrying about what people think, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. So really, I feel like they're a higher, power almost than just
Mentally.
a regular person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the simple fact of that, one, a submissive, I always felt submissive has the greater power because it takes more power to submit.
Right.
So for him to submit not only to his woman, but submit to a man having
Right.
sex with his woman is powerful. You know what I'm saying? Plus, it also shows a sense of security within the relationship, as well as ultimate love to his wife.
Right.
You know, period. Because if she wants to fuck a bull, you know what I'm saying? It takes a strong man to say to his wife, you know something, okay, baby, let's do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, she might end up fucking that bull anyway behind your damn back, and then you feel some
That's
type
right.
of way.
That's right. That's
Hence the cop
absolutely.
in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna front. That cop in Tennessee, don't be surprised if the husband's a cuck.
Right.
He might have set in on some of them sessions straight up.
Right. No,
He
you're
just ain't said nothing.
absolutely right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
because it was funny because they were clowning saying he stayed with it. I said that shows you how dumb-minded some of these people is. He's a fucking cuck. He probably sat there and bought the hotel room, let
Mm-hmm.
them niggas gang bang the hell out of her ass, and he sat there and watched it, eat popcorn, and enjoyed it.
Right.
Fuck her good, fellas. Fuck her good. I want DP, please. Then cleaned it all up after it was over. He was like, "Yeah, I'm keeping her. We gonna do this again."
Right. Right.
You know, period. Because, but see, what's sad is because where they live, he can't be 100% open
Right.
because he gonna be judged in every which way, which is fucked up.
Well, see, I used to live my life stealth. I used to never tell anybody. I mean, when I go out on the street and go to the grocery store or whatever, people don't know. You know, they don't know that I'm trans. So I just never did. But then lately I started doing the moan chats, and that
Mm-hmm.
really started opening people up. And then we had more trans people and more trans
Mm-hmm.
people coming in. And so I felt like this was my place. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, is
Yeah.
getting this out there and more doing things, making it more normal,
Mm-hmm.
and so I just really feel like that. But it opens you up to so much hatred. Like if you see my Twitter feed right now, I mean, there are people on there that are just horrible, and there was one guy that was like just coming at me, coming at me, coming at me. Come on, if you're that worried about something, that's why I said I posted a tweet the other day. If you have an issue with someone else's gender or sexual
You're
orientation,
questioning your own.
that's right. You don't know yourself. You do not know yourself, and that's how this one guy was just coming at me. And why? Why me? Unless you got something for me, you know.
But see, like I said, because
You
people hate what they don't understand.
hmm
And it's so much shit that as we growing up, we have to unlearn.
hmm
And a lot of people don't want to unlearn. As
Yeah.
much as we sit here saying this time and age, we progressive. No, motherfuckers is conservative shit. They don't want to change their mind state.
Yeah. Well,
Period. Hands down.
with cucks, they have learned to unlearn that male. This is the way you got to be a man. This is the
Yeah.
only way you can be a man. You have to fuck her and not touch this one and not touch that one. Sorry, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. It's her sisters, baby. Shit. You can say dick, pussy, ass, whatever. Shit. I don't stop nobody from that.
But yeah, I mean, they get they've risen above that, and gone past that. And that's another reason why I think they're so much, better off, because they don't have that hang up, those hang ups
Yeah.
that we're taught, where they're living what they feel and what they know and what's inside their body, because I believe it's inside everybody's body, not being trans, but just being sexual, being, erotic, all those
Yeah.
kind of people, just being in that's you. That's the real you.
Yeah, because what people don't realize when they say men don't tap to their sensitive side, they don't tap to their female side. Because the female side is the sensitive side. The male side is the hard side. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? So
Yes.
it's kind of like, yeah, you hear what they say, macho, macho man, you're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to tell your feelings this, that, and third. That's woman shit.
Yeah.
Well, if you did, nigga, you won't be have a hang up that you have.
That's right.
You
You're
know?
absolutely right. Yeah.
Because my mother told me, she said, never hide your feelings for nothing because you just don't.
Yeah.
So with that being said,
Yeah.
let's get into your first cuckold experience. Tell us about it.
Okay, so my first cuckold experience was I had, so I told you I had a black cuck,
Mm-hmm.
and a black bull. And so yeah, and he was really into it. The cuck was, and we had just been dating for a little while, and so yeah, we made the meeting. It was all set up and everything, and what he did that night was, we got in the shower together, my cuck and I, and he basically washed me, cleaned me, and he washed my hair for me, which was so nice to just lay back and let him wash my hair. And then, we got out. He picked out lingerie while I was doing my makeup and drying my hair. And then basically he just kind of set the stage for us. It was at his house. And he kind of set the stage for us. It was a friend of his came in, and yeah, and then basically now what he did that night was, which I didn't expect him to do, because and sometimes this happens, sometimes this does happen, but he actually got the bull hard for me. Yeah, so he basically gave him a blowjob while he was doing that, and then he laid underneath me. So I was on all fours above, and then he guided him in.
I did that before. I did that before.
It's like he's putting him inside me, and yeah, it was really, really hot. Like I told you before, I tend to like black men. I like Indian men, from India. If you've ever, I don't know if you've seen the one of the movies that I've done, but that I did a whole thing with a Puerto Rican guy. I've had like 3 Puerto Rican boyfriends, so I tend to like darker skin, that sort of thing. So for me, I was in heaven having both. And it's funny, right now I'm dating a gray hair, blue eyes, white guy. So yeah. So I don't.
She loves them all, ladies and gentlemen. She loves them all.
Yeah, and it's kind of the person, But it was very, very, very hot. And then of course when he, after he came inside me, because you always, generally there's the cream pie that happens, and and then when he pulled out, then the cuck cleaned him off, and then cleaned me off. And then
that was a cuck experience for your ass.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. You see, I love cucks, man. I'm sorry, they're the funnest couples to deal with, yo.
Yeah.
No hang-ups.
We laying there, like the two of us were laying. I was laying in my bull's arms, and he was kind of laying like towards the foot of the bed, and just laying there for a while. And it was nice to have like all 3 after having that experience. And it really didn't feel, because I was worried that it was going to feel like a threesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it really did not, because I've had a couple threesomes, but I really didn't feel like it was a threesome. It had a whole different feeling to it.
Yeah, because it's, like I said, to me, a cup don't penetrate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he really he might help the bull, but he don't play with the wife. He don't play with the bull too tough. Like I said, y'all dynamic was different because he's transgender.
That I thought I thought my bull was gonna be with him, but I think they were too close of friends to let that happen. But I swear to you, it almost happened.
I mean, he got him hard, so I mean, it's as close as it can get.
That's right. And cleaned him off afterwards. I mean,
I'm saying. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he had a good night's sleep that night. So, oh my goodness. So you say you want to start. You say you also do content, and you want to do more of it, or what have you.
Yeah.
So now I've talked to many transgender women, and when it comes to now finding guys to work with, because I'm pretty sure. Because do you work with women also?
No.
Or you just guys? Okay, so
You know
So
what? I have never been with a woman.
yeah. Now I got to ask this question, right? Now, technically,
Yeah.
I always ask this question, right?
Well, I guess I've been with myself.
Before transgender,
Okay.
gay.
Right.
So when you became trans woman,
right.
does that make you straight?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to get that
yes.
answer straight.
I identify as a straight woman, as a female. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because I was wondering, I was like, okay, if you take a transgender woman that never been with a man, but she transitions to a woman, does that make her now lesbian because all she did was women? You feel what I'm saying?
So and it would. Yeah. Plus, also, and this is something that do you identify as straight yourself?
I identify as straight. Yeah.
Okay. So if you and I slept together,
yeah,
you would still be straight.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
But see, me, I would consider myself bi.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because you're a trans woman, you're a different sex than for what I do. That's why I consider myself bi.
Yeah. Well, see, and I look at it as, because I have this whole thing, and some people may not agree with me with this, but sexual actions do not have orientations. And because if you take a straight couple, male, female, straight couple, and the female pegs the guy, if you don't know what pegging is,
I had this conversation too, and I said it doesn't make the man gay because look at the term gay. He's being fucked by a woman in his ass. It is just an intense prostate exam.
And it's another sex act. If the two of you can do that, these are the parts that I have, so I use the parts that I have, and that's how we have sex. Now, if I were to fall in love, if you were to fall in love with a man and want to be with a man for the rest of your life and all that, then I would call you gay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, everything that we had learned, you might as well throw out the goddamn window because it didn't change now.
You're right.
And two, everything we had learned came from a fucking book that was pushed upon us, that was written. I don't even want to go into all that. Not for the episode this week, but y'all know how I feel about that. So I don't need to explain it. We behold to some bullshit.
Half of the Bible half of the Bible books, I'm Jewish, so we don't even pay attention to those.
Yeah. Y'all probably look at the Bible like, anyway.
Exactly. Anyway. The Bible about it. So, yeah. So it's perfectly fine.
So there with you, like I said, look at the film or what have you.
Yes.
Finding male talent.
Yes.
How do you go about that, and how hard is that now? How hard is that?
Well, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging or anything, but I really have a lot of people that would want to. I have the talent that I've done stuff with so far have approached me. A lot of them have approached me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't think that I would have a hard time. More, and if I said something, I mean, you should see my DMs right now. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
I believe it, because from talking even to Cassie in Paradise,
yes,
you have a lot of men that would want to do them, but they don't, especially established talent, but they don't want to show their face. No, so they're afraid, and to me, I consider that a cop out. If that's what you into it.
Well, and I have a very specific type of porn that I want to do, because I don't want the female in that film to be fetishized. Mm-hmm. I want it to be like a
natural.
Yeah, very natural, and this is what we do, and it's not. I mean, if we want to do a cuckold thing, then let it be a cuckold thing. There aren't a lot of I think I'm the only trans female cuckoldress in captivity today.
Yeah, because I've never heard you the first one I ever heard they use that term.
Even Cassie transgender considers herself a sissy sub, Mm-hmm. So yeah. Yes, she and I talk to each other on Twitter and stuff.
Cassie, my girl, her fine ass. I know my family like, you gonna slip one day. If I do, I'm gonna own it, motherfucker. Trust believe. I come out on the next show, be like, yeah, I did a transgender.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
I did it, and I enjoyed it, and we'll do it again.
And you're still a straight man.
Say no, no, I just think shit. My wife wanted to see me with one, so it ain't even funny. She wants to do one of her damn self. So,
Well, maybe you need another. Maybe you need a bowl.
I mean, see, I ain't a pure cook, so I can be able to watch, but I'm not going to assist or clean. You know what I'm saying?
Well, just
But
non-monogamous. You could be non-monogamous. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But no, if I ever be on camera, I'm showing my face. Even if it's a cup scene, I'll be right there looking dead, like, fuck shit out of it. Yeah.
Part. I would say that's the hard part, because both of the people that I've done scenes with have not been on, their faces haven't been on camera at all.
Yeah. So is it because they want to stay anonymous because they may have a job or their personal life, or is it shame?
No, I think it's job and personal life, because one of them is the guy that I'm seeing now, and we go all over he's never afraid to be with me out in public. So it wouldn't be that. And the other guy too. We used to date a long time ago, but he had to end up moving away. So but we just he comes and visits me, and and that's a funny story to how that happened. We had already played and exhausted, and we ordered was it Five Guys hamburgers. We ate Five Guys hamburgers at like 12:30 at night, and he was like, let's make a movie. And I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, let's make a movie. So we like started all over.
Oh my goodness. So so how often do you film? So to keep up with the demand of content and all that?
I mean, I should be doing way more than I am. I've been trying to get some things together with my Night Flirt account and that. So, but I'm going to start gearing up again. I wanted to get to a certain point and make a certain amount of money first. So that's kind of what I've been doing. But I happen to have like Gil, the guy that from Chicago, that was like, hey, let's do this movie. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And Tim and I one day were just like, hey, let's record this, and I've got 2 more that I have to edit, and they're going to be pretty steamy, I think.
Most definitely. And I'll be the first to tell you, for example, I told somebody this, I said, I can't watch a girl-on-girl flick unless it's a strap-on involved. And I can watch a transgender girl with another girl, because they're getting fucked. Both of them getting fucked. Yeah. Because the girl's fucking with the strap on, and she's fucking with that big ass clip. So, period. So, I'm just a freak like that. It's just me. I'm open minded like that. But like I said, yeah. But to me, it's kind of like I said, when it comes to, it's understandable if a guy don't want to show his face because his job, or his personal life. What I don't like is when they shame. Because if he'll fuck you off camera, why can't he fuck you on camera?
That's right.
Without his mask, especially if he's established.
Yeah.
Especially.
I feel the same way. And that's my next thing, is to find guys that will, because I want to see the relationship between the two of us. I want to see that. Because if you look at cuck porn now, I've only seen just very recently, like this past week, cuck porn, because everyone told me not to look at it, because it's not anything really like what cuckolding is. So I didn't either. I was I don't know if you know who Venus Cuckoldress is, but thing last Friday night, and she was asking me about that, and I said, you know what? I have never seen cuck porn at all, never. And but I figured I better, and it's really not like,
because it's through a straight man's eye. It's not through a cuckoldress or a cuckold's eye. It's through a straight man eye. It's what a straight man thinks cuckolding is, and it doesn't work that way.
Well, cuckolding is more cerebral. It's more in the mind. So we were talking about this during Cuck Week. Somebody said you would have to have like a narrator, like narrating what's going on in your mind, and throughout the whole thing. So
Blush.
All right.
Bless you, Veronica. I hope you listening, cinematographer. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and just, have that narrative going on throughout the whole thing. Yeah. Yeah. So you really hear, because it's really about him getting off on her getting fucked, and that emotion, and then that whole where they come back together. Sometimes they do have sex at the end of it, and sometimes they don't. But that rebonding moment, if you just lay with each other even, is so important. And so, it's so imperative to the relationship to keep that relationship between the two of them strong and going, Yeah.
Yeah, because even when I look at them, it's always, baby, I brought you a friend of mine to fuck. And it's kind of like, okay, that ain't how it goes, man. No, is it?
Yeah.
I'm like, because even to the point, like, it's like I said, whenever, it's just like I told somebody with black porn, it's always through the eyes of white people.
Right.
So when we make our porn stories, it's based off of what we saw that white people see what black porn is.
Right.
When it comes to, like I said, cuckold, it's through a straight man's eye what he think cuckold is.
Yeah.
Period. I would like to see a cuck scene where the cuck lotions his wife down and the bull's sitting there watching. Then he helps the bull. You don't ever see the dude help the bull out.
No, I mean, wouldn't it be hot to see me and my cuck, him giving me a shower and soaking me up and do all of that stuff? And I mean,
no, he sit there, he just be like right this close to y'all fucking. That's the only cuck he doing. Just
right.
He's watching.
Or
he might jerk his dick or something.
Right. He's in the cuck chair,
Right.
The room.
Yeah.
And you see the film across the room from,
Yeah. Instead of like, that's why everyone be like, we looking for a real couple. Because to me, it's just like BDSM. If it's not authentic, it's not going to sell this way. That's why a lot of motherfuckers don't make a lot of money when they cut.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? They cut their cuck movies. Because you're playing to cuck couples who will want to watch that shit. And then, just like you said, you look at it, garbage. You know what I'm saying? It's like watching a gangbang of a girl in a nun outfit and she didn't do shit nunish.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You be like, wait a second, why is she even wearing the nun outfit? Why is she wearing the nurse outfit?
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah, so it's kind of like, that's why I said we have to start telling our own stories. That's why I'm glad we are in the content creation era. Yeah. It's a gift and a curse. The gift of it, y'all already know what I said about the curse. But the gift of it is it allows people like her, like cuck couples, to be able to give you a real experience of what a cuck couple goes through through the camera.
Right. But cool to like have a movie from a bull's perspective.
Yeah.
With the cuck couple, I think it would be amazing. Yeah.
But see, the problem is like I said, you got to have a real fucking cuck. These motherfuckers that be playing the cuck ain't even a cuck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, straight up. Because all the cucks I know, they'll sit there and be like, they'll grab the dick. I'm like, one time I saw one video where it was a cuck couple. They were the closest to real. Mm-hmm. He actually motherfucking had to do nothing in his face the whole night.
Yeah.
Don't see that on the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
No means.
Yeah.
Funny, I saw that in the amateur. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She had a whole gangbang. He over that motherfucker watching the gangbang. And instead of them nutting in her, they nutting on him. Ain't nothing on her. He going to clean it up and all that shit.
Last week was kind of hot because he came in her as he pulled out. He was coming more, and the cuck was there and was just licking everything up.
Yeah.
As it happened, and that was hot. That to me, that was really hot. But, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of men don't want to admit they want to see some shit. They want to see some shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Period. Ladies, you'd be surprised what you might find in your man search history. I'm just saying.
There
you be surprised. But at the same token, like my man told this girl, it was a story where he was looking at his wife was black and skinny. He was watching white BBWs. She said, "Why are you watching white BBWs?" He said, "Don't kink shame me." But yeah, it's like. But like I said, I mean, to me, that's the reason why we need more content creators like you.
Yeah.
We need more transgender workers in the business.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, even to the point I was happy that Brazzers did do a transgender scene. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen them do another one. I know why, because it didn't make them money. But
Mm.
I guarantee they didn't do it right.
Sure.
I guarantee they didn't do it right. Because if you
Yeah.
don't do it right, ain't nobody gonna want to watch it.
No. No, it's just like my listings in Night Flirt. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I might do a new listing and I may not get anybody from that listing for a couple weeks. And I'm like, okay, that didn't work. So let's change it. You got to change it to something else. You're not reeling them in the way that you need to
See,
reel them in. Yeah.
see, I'm gonna tell you where they messed up. They
Hmm.
should have did an interracial one instead of white on white. That what they should have did. That would have got it off because that what people want to see. They want to see that black man with that white transgender girl.
Right.
You feel
Right.
me? Hands down. They don't want to see white on white.
Right.
Boom. And that's the reason why. Because they should have known with the BBWs, they did ethnic BBWs and they saw how that went over. It went
Yeah.
over great. What's hot now? Interracials. Why the fuck
Mhm.
y'all ain't do interracial with it?
Well, I'll remember that when I do mine.
Yeah. Because trust me, interracial is king. So shit, that one of the first thing you should have did, you should have had a big black dick fucking the shit out of that trans woman.
But
Sorry.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
period. Now speaking about
I'm not going to
phones,
explain.
you need to book her. That's what y'all need to do. Book her.
That's
And y'all might get y'all might see something. So
there. You
speaking about night flirts and what have you. So
Yeah.
tell us about, night flirts and the phone sex. Cause a lot of people I've been talking to a lot of people about night flirts. And
Okay.
it's an old school method, but a lot of people don't use it as much.
Yeah.
So tell us about night flirt, whatever, because phone sex is still alive and well in 2023.
I make my almost 100% of my living doing phone sex. Yeah. And yeah. So no, it is alive and well. And it's funny because I've tried some different things. I've tried to do, I started with the trans listing and then I've gone over onto the female side, just
Mm-hmm.
regular female, because I do consider myself female. And so I've done both sides, but you know what? My trans listing is the one that makes me the most money, you know? And
Yeah.
I mean, it does. It just does, and I'll tweak it a little bit or add another listing that's still trans. Like because I'm Jewish, now you got the Jewish trans housewife at home, and a lot of people go for that,
Oh
But
yeah.
yes, it is. And you know what? I've found is, um, I sit here and I think you had Kayla on your Mistress Kayla, Goddess Kayla.
Yeah.
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 So she and I have been talking and discussing, and when I first started, she was so great. She helped me out and everything. And but from there we've been kind of like, it's hard work. Okay. Phone sex is hard work.
Yeah.
Because you have to know HTML. So you have to be able to program your listing so that it looks good, or you have to know what to do, plus you have to change those listings all the time. Sometimes you have to wait 12, 13 hours for 2 phone calls, and it can be hard. And but it's one of the things that I think it's so descriptive. I found that the more descriptive you are about what you're going to do with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
the better everything is and the more they come back. I have people that call me every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, every single day. I have about 6 people that call me every single day. So I know I'm going to get 6 phone calls every day, at least. And yeah, and every once in a while they don't come, but yeah. And so the more descriptive you are, and it's like you can do anything you want, you can you can get fucked by a trans woman and not have to
Mm-hmm.
worry about it, and not be gay, that kind of thing. But I will tell you this, because I'm not a big, I don't fuck guys, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Generally. Um, that's probably what 90% of the guys that call me want.
Mm-hmm.
So I can fuck the shit out of you through Night Flirt. So, not touching you. That,
Yeah, because see, the thing with night flirts, it allows them to use their imagination
yeah,
because there's no visual,
right.
and people don't realize how powerful imagination can be
Definitely.
versus watching a video.
But you have to know
Because
how to drag, you have to know how to pull somebody into that scene with you. You know,
mhm,
you really have to know how to, it's almost like hypnosis a little bit. You have to know how to, oh, I'm unzipping your zipper and now I'm unzipping
mhm,
your pants and I'm opening that zipper and I'm pulling it out and, all this kind of stuff. And you're starting to, then they start getting into it and but it's one of those things like fishing, like when you have a fish on the line, right?
mhm,
You have to have this tension as you're pulling it in, otherwise it could pop off. That's kind of
mhm,
exactly what you have to do with this. You have to keep that tension going the same as you're talking to a person.
mhm.
So yeah, so there is, and I thought, oh, this is going to be so easy. There are some days when you're just, "Ugh, I don't want to fuck another person this way." It's like everybody wants to be a sissy today, So God, can I have anything but a sissy on my next 3 phone calls, But then comes a sissy again. So, and that's huge right now too.
Mhm.
Guys being sissies are
Yeah,
huge.
because a lot of dudes, believe it or not, a lot of dudes are sissies. They might be masculine as fuck, but inside they're sissies. And night flirts,
Mhm.
especially night flirts, enable them to be that because one, you don't see them, they don't see you.
That's
It
right.
allows him to use his imagination,
Mhm.
and he don't feel it like put it because some dudes honestly cannot mentally handle if they actually did the deed.
Right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
Like,
I agree.
yeah, because hypothetically speaking, I think that would happen when the dude shot them people up in Orlando. He
Mhm.
had an experience with a transgender. He couldn't handle the experience and
Right.
felt some type of way and decided he wanted to take it out of the goddamn community,
Mhm.
which is fucked up. Which goes back to it's okay to live your truth, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
It's
right.
way healthier mentally.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. You'll end up being a better person. You'll end up being a happier person. You'll end up being a more fulfilled person. And you know what? When you go back to that vanilla life of having
yeah,
sex, you're even going to be better with vanilla sex.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Because the more weight you have off of your shoulders, the better you feel. And that's a lot of weight to sit here and pretend
mhm.
and not accept. You know what I'm saying? It's you.
Yeah.
It's you. It's nobody else. It's you.
Right. Well,
Pretty
I
just
think
like
that
it.
people, where we see all these laws coming out against,
Yeah.
like especially the kids, the trans kids, people do not understand. You go into those puberty blockers and they
Yeah.
think, oh my God, why would you do that, to a kid? Well, you know why you would do that? So that that kid can make the decision of really if this is for them or not. You're not forcing them to make a decision with a puberty blocker. You're letting them make the decision. And
And
if
how do you give
they
them
go
more
off of it,
information?
well, as soon as they go off of it, they start puberty back up again.
Yeah.
How,
Because to be honest with you, it's like this. You got kids that know who they are at 9,
that's
at
right.
8.
I knew at 4, I think. I can
Yeah.
remember 4.
So why not
Right.
put educational stuff to where they can learn? It's the problem is they're so worried they're gonna turn everybody gay.
Yeah,
You're gonna turn everybody lesbian. Motherfucker, some of them kids are already there, bro.
that's right.
And guess what? You might say, and guess what? The way that y'all teach these kids, you might be making the next Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, the next mass shooter, the
Or the
next
next kid
farmer.
steps in front of a bus.
Yeah, a
You know,
couple of suicides. You know what I'm saying? So it is best. Just like I remember in school, we had sex education. They told us about the sex worlds. What's the fucking difference then explaining to them what's transgender,
right.
what's this, what's pansexual?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They gonna learn anyway. Would you rather for them to learn the right way or to learn on Pornhub?
Right. Well, and do you really think that passing a law that says they can't have this pill or this shot or this whatever is going to all of a sudden go into some kid's mind and go, "Oh, I'm really not that."
Mm-hmm.
no, they're going to be that no matter what. There's nothing that's going to change me, you know? And the thing with the puberty blockers, the thing that I like about those, I worked in a medical office, an LGBTQ medical office for a while. But what I like about that, so since I've been on hormones and, you know, I obviously have boobs now. If I decided I just didn't want to do this anymore, I've got to have surgery, not because I have implants, but because there's breast tissue now under there that's formed because of the hormones, which is what happens with girls at puberty. So you're saving this child from having this awful surgery and having these 2 scars underneath just by doing that. Okay, we're going to make sure. Okay, yes, we want to do that. Now you don't have to do that anymore because you can start them on testosterone and it's done. You know, so
it's kind of like it's okay to give them the education. You know, I'm sorry, we're so afraid that people are afraid that if we give them the knowledge that everybody gonna want to be that. That's not the case.
No.
You know, period. Because one, what you're showing is we accept, tolerate, and love everybody. Because that's all it's about. Y'all keep talking this Christian shit, but didn't God say love everybody? Come as you are.
Right.
He just didn't mean clothes.
Yep.
He just didn't mean clothes. You think
anybody honestly would choose to go through all of this, pay for it all, have to have these surgeries, be ridiculed, be made fun of, be beaten up, be killed because of who they are? Would anybody choose that honestly in their life?
No.
No.
Because the simple fact of it's they learned who they are and now they want to be who they are.
That's right.
You know, period. I have a cousin. We already knew what we were going to be when she turned 18. She turned 18, cut their hair off. She's straight butch.
Yep.
And I even had to ask, I said, do I call you he or she? She said, you call me a she. I said, I just want to make sure, babe.
Yeah. That's right.
But yeah. But the point being is, we didn't look at her sideways. We didn't judge her. We didn't ridicule her. None of that shit. But see, some of y'all motherfuckers, your child come up gay, you want to go try to whoop the gay out of them.
Yeah.
Really?
You're not going to whip it out of them.
No, you're not.
Work that way.
No, because it came of God. Sorry.
That's right.
Because that was funny. Christians sit there and say, God is so perfect, he don't make mistakes. He made her. So you try to say, so you basically saying he's imperfect. Because you're trying to say she's a mistake.
You're trying to say I'm a mistake. I don't look at me as being a mistake. I look at me as being something different that was needed in this world for some reason.
Yeah.
Just like you have animals that can do this for some reason, you know? I mean, who knows the real reason? We may not know for 100 years from now. You know?
Before the guy go down and said, take up all transgenders and leave y'all straight motherfuckers down here. Y'all gonna feel some type of way.
I always say, you know, what happens if God comes down and he's like, all right, I want like blue-eyed wharf rats. That's all that's going to heaven with me. The rest of you are fucked.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know. Do we really know what's going to happen, you know?
And that's why I say everything is based off of what a man told us. 9 out of 10, a confused sexual man. Mm-hmm. That's most of the Catholics. No disrespect. Because I am sorry. I never forget, I was watching this wrestler, his documentary on Dark Side of the Ring, Christian Cage.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I loved him as a wrestler. And then when I found out he was homosexual, I said, oh, cool, we got a first homosexual wrestler, Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize how much shit that man dealt with. And I see why he lost it. Yeah. And it began with a Catholic priest. Mm-hmm. He came to the Catholic priest saying, look, I'm gay. He told him, he said something to where you need to pray to God about that. What? That what you gonna say to this child?
Right. Okay, I did. So here I am, still gay.
Yeah, I'm saying that, but that what I mean is kind of like people have to learn to accept themselves. If you can't accept yourself, you can't accept others.
Yeah, no, and that's a big thing, and that's where I'm going to give my cucks even more credit, because that they accept those things about themselves, that this is how they are, and this is how they believe and how they feel, and that there's nothing wrong with it, you know. There's really nothing. I mean, and same thing for me. I mean, what I do is not normal. Having sex in front of my boyfriend or husband is not something that everybody does, but but I'm not having an affair.
No.
I'm not having it's ethical non-monogamy, and we both know, we have both agreed to it, and as long as people agree to it, that's like, I don't like the word taboo either. Like, something is taboo, well, if you and I want to do it, it's not taboo.
Well, that term was made to.
Some people don't have anal sex,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the word taboo was made to suppress and ostracize our sexuality. That's where that term comes from. Right. That's why they use it. Period. Now, granted, yes, porn made more money when it was more taboo.
Right.
Right. But come on, anything that is in the dark will always come to light. That's the reason why it's becoming more mainstream. Period. That's why I'm seeing more black men into packing. I'm starting to see more black men into cuckolding.
Yes.
Period. Because funny, you always hear that's a white man's game. No, it's not. It's just the image we see is mostly whites.
That's right. And I know a couple guys on the Moan app, that a couple guys that are black guys on that are cucks too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, to me, that's because that tends to be what I prefer. I would love to find a black cuck to be in a relationship with me. But the black cuck that I was with didn't quite understand what monogamous to me was.
No.
Yeah, didn't quite understand that.
Yeah, he was a cheater, apparently. That's obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, but like I said before, it's about the boundaries, at the end of the day. Because, it's to be a couple. You kind of don't play outside of that unless you and your wife say it's cool.
That's right. Unless
I heard him to. And then technically you're not a cuck. You basically swinging. You just cuck every now and then. You just a swinging couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I like talking to you. I can't wait to bring you back. Hey, you just so much fun. Oh my goodness. So I know this much. Have you went to any conventions?
I have not, but I'm going to go this next year.
Okay.
I'm hoping to be able to have done something where I might get nominated. Who knows?
It's a good possibility because you got the fan votes for AVN or what have you. Plus, they do have the trans stuff, trans categories, which I'm glad that they have that.
Well, they have the trans awards too.
Yeah, period. Yeah. And as well as the gay begins, which is kind of fucking funny that after God was named John Holmes.
Yes.
Now they want to separate it. It used to be a time where there was no such thing as gay porn or straight porn. It was just porn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And John Holmes played on both sides of the goddamn fence.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually saw a gay video of him. I thought it was a female at first. Until I noticed a dick, I said,
oh my gosh. And there's another one. He was blonde. He's older. He was blonde, but he was married to Margaret Whiting. He did gay porn, but he was married to Margaret Whiting. She was a cabaret singer. And the two of them had like this incredible, she was like 20, 30 years older than him, but they had this incredible sex life together, Yeah. And then he did gay porn too.
Yeah, because to me at the end of the day, porn is porn. That I get why they wanted to separate. It didn't make sense to me because I'm like, so you're gonna punish the gays,
right,
and the homosexuals because of one dude catching AIDS when everybody was catching AIDS?
That's right. Well, and now and that's something that I also like to I talk about in a lot of my talks. But nowadays, people don't even understand what U equals U is, and it's undetectable equals untransmissible. So right now, if you are on your medications and you have HIV, you're positive, and you are undetectable, you cannot even give it to somebody through sexual contact.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even give it to somebody. So they're actually thinking about making being undetectable the new HIV negative.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because if you want to be honest, when you think about it, of course you ain't gonna come up on the test. Because a lot of people don't understand why it make the whole thing is it makes your white blood cells count go up.
Right.
That's why
Your T cells go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
When the T cells get really, really low, and then what you have is a viral load that goes way, way up. I mean, it can be like 31,000, 100,000. But when it gets down to that point where it's underneath, like I think it's under 10 is what we count, you can't even give it to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you literally could slit your wrist, have them suck your blood. And there's not enough in your blood to give somebody HIV. You have to worry about gonorrhea, chlamydia, and all those things that are now becoming antibiotic resistant. That's what you got to worry about.
Yeah.
So out there, be careful.
Yeah, that's why I said your test is always good. The last person you fuck, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
That's facts. And regardless of whether you transgender or not, everyone has to be tested, babe.
That's right. That is right.
You know, period. That rule that applies to everybody, no matter your sex, creed, or color. I have a
very good straight friend who has it. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's undetectable, so she doesn't even, have to worry anymore. But do you know, this is a weird statistic. People that are diagnosed with HIV, do you know that only 26% of them actually take their medications?
Which is crazy.
With all that we have these days and all that you can do, but only 26% take their medications.
The reason why, because they're so afraid of somebody finding out.
Right.
Because you got to carry that medication with them, afraid it's going to fall out the pocketbook or
fall
out the bag.
Shot that lasts for 2 months.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's just, the game is crazy as it is, Yeah. And that's why I tell people, we have to be more responsible in our personal sex life. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, it ain't that it caught on set, it was brought on set.
Right. Well, and that's like my partner and I, the guy that I'm seeing now, we get tested every 3 months because we want to have unprotected sex, and so we do. But I don't know for sure 100% that he's not with somebody else when he's not with me, I have no clue. But hopefully that's the case. And so far that's been the case, So, but yeah.
So most definitely. So I have enjoyed you, Miss Lady. And we have a lot more to discuss.
We do.
Because that means you will have to come back. So with that being said, can I call you a smoke buddy?
Yes, you may. Absolutely.
And y'all heard it. She will be back into the premium. She will be back on the Smokers Lounge as well as the premium smoke room. $4.99 a month. Six premium podcasts for you to enjoy. More unpredictable, more wild, more candid, more uncensored. She might show us those pretty titties one day. You never know unless you subscribe to the premium.
I just paid for these.
Oh yes, and we might get to see it because I love titties and I don't give a damn what the gender is. That's just me. So with that being said, you know what I say? The best smoke is always premium. So subscribe to Premium Smoke. So with that being said, Madam, can you please tell them where they can buy your content?
Well, on NightFlirt, if you'll just go to nightflirt.com and then just do /Veronica Mirage, and it's Veronica with a K, so Veronika Mirage, and then you can always find me on Twitter at Veronica Mirage. That's where I am most of the time, I would say. And then my podcast coming out the 4th on Anchor on Spotify is going to be, it's called the Trans Rendezvous Podcast. So all things trans.
So I got another pod, mommy. Yay! I got another pod, mommy. You know how I love porn stars to do podcasts. I love it. Because we need more of us so we can teach you dumb motherfuckers about this business and about life in general.
That's right. Yeah, so, I agree.
No doubt. So with that being said, people, we came to another end of a wonderful Smokers Lounge. And with that being said, you know how we end these things all the time. Life is a learning experience. What's the point of the experience if you haven't learned anything? Smoke this over. Say goodbye, Miss Veronica.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you the next time.
And when her podcast drop, I suggest y'all go check it out because I'm pretty sure it's going to be good.
Definitely, and I'll put a link up there on Twitter. So definitely, and you can. My DMs are open. I know. Okay.
No doubt. Y'all take care. We out.
Bye.